The podcast you're about to enjoy is part of the LOWTREE Studios podcast network. To enjoy great podcasts like this one, go now to the LOWTREEstudios.com. And remember, get to the podcast.
Wreck My Podcast!
This week, we cover a Quentin Tarantino film that proves he can literally make a movie about nothing. That's right, it's Death Proof, the movie that I thought was gonna be like Christine, but turned out to be, well, something else.
Wreck My Podcast!
Welcome to Wreck My Podcast, where this week we had a patron suggest an episode, or I guess a movie we watched, which is why we're watching this movie. Kind of explains that. I didn't pick this one, but I'm here with my guest. As always, he always gives a lap dance with his clothes on. It's Cam.
I do, and I'm not a dang it, I messed up the line. What's the line? I'm not a cowboy, I'm a stuntman.
Yeah, you're not a cowboy, you're a stuntman.
My dumbass kept on reading my stupid name down here. I almost said caveman 4 times.
Cam's
Why
name
does it
in
say
this,
caveman?
It says stuntman, caveman, spaceman. Or is that Spachemin?
Yes, Spachemin. The sole reason it says caveman is because I tried to write my name.
All your professions in one.
I was going to write stuntman Cam, but I'm a little high, and for some reason I started writing caveman.
Well, that works. So I'm here with Cam. I'm also here with my other guest. You heard his voice. He has this month's issue of Italian Vogue. It's Joe.
And I'm also in Allure.
Yes, you are. You are in Allure.
Centerfold coming at you.
Ooh la la.
Does Allure have centerfolds? Like
They do now.
It's a trifold folds out, and it's just Joe.
Joe's the first one.
It's 4 pages long. It just keeps unrolling, unraveling.
Yeah, like a magician pulling hankies out of his sleeve.
All of a sudden, a pair of underwear is at the end of it.
Oh, and then I'm your host. My farts aren't death proof. I'm Jordan. So we are watching.
Unless you're in the driver's seat.
Yeah, unless you're in the driver's seat. So, if you're wondering why we're covering Death Proof, so patron of ours, Ashley, asked us to do the Grindhouse movies. We only accommodated to a point because Planet Terror isn't able to stream anywhere. So I was like,
right.
I'm not spending money on this. We're watching Death Proof.
And in all honesty, I think Planet Terror is the worst of the two.
Yeah,
really? It's worse than this one?
I got all the Eli Roth I could take in his cameo in this one.
Oh my God, he was in it for a long time too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eli Roth was one of the people at the bar, the Texas Chili Parlor.
Yes, which is the worst name for anything.
I feel like
a bar brings up a bunch of opportunities.
Like what opportunities?
Like people around, socialization, women.
Yeah.
Oh. Cam, I feel like you really want to tell us about that beer you're holding in your hand right now.
No, I'm just holding. Oh yeah, I'm drinking a different beer that is only local to Knoxville, and it's different. I never really had anything like it.
It looks like it would go well with lime.
It really does. It's a Mexican lager. It's a craft Mexican lager from. It's actually brewed in a city in Mexico and then shipped to Tennessee, where they dry hop it and finish it.
Yeah.
It's called Tecate.
Really? Oh, I thought it was pronounced Tecate.
Oh
no, Tecate.
up here they call it. They go, oh, can I have some of that Tecate? Except I think I'm the only person that drinks Tecate in Tennessee.
Yeah, literally they have like one box that's dusty in the back of the grocery store.
Yeah.
What is the Tennessee staple beer?
So what is happening really big out here right now is sours.
Ciders.
Sours.
Oh, sours.
Sours like crazy. And I've had some banging sours out here. Really, really good sours. But the rest, it's kind of like they're just starting the IPA trend.
IPs are just getting to Tennessee now.
Yeah, they just finished their Reds phase, which I'm super bummed about because I love Reds so much.
Yeah, who doesn't love drinking metallic water?
Just wait till they get to the double IPA.
Oh, I know.
Ooh, the double IPA.
Double IPA May is coming up.
Oh,
Cam, can you go to a bar in Tennessee and order an IPA?
I will. I'll be like, hi, can I have that double
Hazy
IPA?
Double
Can I have the hazy IPA?
I love it. All right, so this movie is about not about a killer car, which I thought it was going to be about.
No, it's not Christine.
No, I said that in the intro. I was like, I thought this movie was going to be Christine, and it ended up not being.
It's the prequel to Rubber.
Yes, this is how the tire got pissed off and wanted to kill everyone.
Rubber's so much better than this movie.
Yeah, here, let's get into Jordan Explains the Movie real quick so that I can break down the plot for everyone, and then let's talk about kind of what the heck this movie was, okay? Oh yes, it's time for Jordan to explain the movie quickly. We start off with a group of girls just hanging out in Austin, Texas. Then a guy named Stuntman Mike shows up and puts out some creepy vibes, but of course Rose McGowan decides to leave with him. Mike's car is death-proof except for the passenger side, so Mike uses his brakes to kill Rose McGowan's character. Then he goes after the other girls in a different car and runs into them head-on. They all die in gruesome ways, but Stuntman Mike is fine because, his car is death-proof. And the cops think it's the girls' fault because they were all high and Mike was sober. Let's move 14 months later, and Stuntman Mike makes it to Tennessee and stalks a new group of girls. One of them happens to be a stunt woman, and she decides to pull a daring stunt of laying on the hood of a car while it's driving super fast. Stuntman Mike takes this opportunity to mess with them and tries to run them off the road, but they aren't having it, and they shoot Stuntman Mike in the arm. But that's not enough. The girls chase him down and give him a taste of his own medicine by punching him in the face 37 times in 30 seconds. And then, after doing all that, Rosario Dawson just smashes his face in. And that's the end. So that's what happened in the movie. My question first is for Cam and Joe. Have you watched this before?
Yes, but it has been a few years, a number of years since I've seen it, to the point that I didn't remember the plot.
Okay. Cam, how about you?
Actually, no.
No, have you seen Planet Terror?
No.
Okay.
This is the only, Tarantino-made thing I accidentally skipped over. And I don't know why. It was, in our senior year of high school. Yeah. And that was prime time for me to be watching this. And I somehow missed it. And so this is the first time I watched it.
Yeah, no, I have known about these Grindhouse films since they came out, but I never took the time to watch them. One, everyone knows this. I'm not a huge Quentin Tarantino fan, so why would I go out of my way to watch something he considers his worst movie he's ever made? Didn't say it was a bad movie. He just considers this the worst movie he ever made.
Yeah.
I am a big Quentin Tarantino fan, and I completely agree with Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, I mean, this movie, okay, so we're gonna...
But also, it's supposed to be bad on purpose, but I think
that's what I was gonna say.
Too good at making good things.
That's so dumb. That's such a dumb explanation. It's like the whole thing that I had the problem with Justice League about being in 4-3. I'm like, but it's supposed to be this way. I'm like, no, that's just a cop-out that you can make a terrible movie and be like, but it's supposed to be a terrible movie.
That's so much different than aspect ratio.
Grindhouse, yeah.
Yeah,
he's going for the Grindhouse stylization, essentially, and
right.
the
He's
Grindhouse
making
film.
A very specific, grainy type of 16mm B movie.
So he's like, hey, those movies that are awful and only were made because we didn't have technology to do better? Yeah, let's make one of those movies.
Yeah, but didn't that stupid fucking movie, The Artist, win an Academy Award because it was silent? Come on,
and in black and white.
And I don't agree with that either.
What, you just want everything to look like an Infinity War, just super brilliant and amazing forever?
I'm totally fine with some grain in there. I'm totally fine using real film. I like movies filmed on real film. He specifically took this film and scratched it, manually scratched it to make it look worse. Just film it on a freaking 16mm camera and it'll look like that. You don't need to scratch it more.
It won't look like that. The reason that he did that was to make it look like it was a print that has been used countless times to show at small movie theaters.
It's kind of like found footage, but back in the day of like an actually produced movie.
Yeah, it's like the same reel that would go from theater to theater. Like that's
Yeah.
exactly the look
It's
that
just
he
the
gave
one copy that is just being passed around multiple times.
Again, and that was a necessity out of the fact that the man wasn't there, where like we have the technology now to make it look better. Why?
Yeah,
I
but you
don't-
didn't grow
But that's
up in
not
a
the-
time where that's not the point.
That wasn't
but
the
you
point
guys
of this
didn't-
movie.
You guys didn't grow up during that time either.
No,
But
but I went to
Quentin
school
did.
for it on purpose.
But Quentin Tarantino did, and he used to go to these theaters and watch these type of movies. And
Yeah.
wanted to make a movie that resembled the types of movies that he used to see.
Did you like that class in your film education cam where they taught you how to scratch film so it looked like that? Coincidentally,
do you wanna-
it really helped you become a DJ too.
I do want to point out that yes, in any abstract film class, the first thing you learn how to do is to scratch emulsion off of film
Oh, that's
stock.
funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. Obviously, I didn't enjoy this movie. Again, I am not a Quentin Tarantino fan. I mean, there's some movies of his where I'm like, that's passable, but for the most part, all of his trademarks, I'm not a huge fan of. This dude is like obsessed with feet, whatever. I don't give a crap about that. He loves the one thing
That's
that
real
is-
life.
The one thing that is a trademark of Quentin Tarantino films I like is long one takes.
And his use of the N-word.
No, I don't like that. I don't like his overuse of like dialogue that goes nowhere, that literally is pointless and has nothing to do with the plot of the movie, where people are just talking for 20 minutes about
like that.
nothing. I don't like that. I'm like, if I wanted this, I would just go sit at a park bench and listen to someone's conversation. I don't need to pay money to see this happen.
Which pays homage to Robert Altman, one of the first American auteurs, whose philosophy was that if you walked by a stranger in the street, you hear a segment of their conversation, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
A group of strangers, and your brain automatically creates the story. So it's kind of paying homage to that.
Okay, from that viewpoint, I'm fine with it. But again, I don't want that in my entertainment. Leave that for my nonfiction world. I'll deal with that there. Use my imagination in other areas. But I do like his long shot one takes. That's pretty cool. I don't like his overuse of like just over the top violence either. I'm like, it seems cheesy to me, which I get that's what he's going for. In,
Again,
like, Kill
it's the
Bill
grindhouse thing.
and Glorious Bastards and all that. I get that's what he's going for, but like.
That's
I
the
just don't
point.
care
His
for
favorite
it.
movies are Japanese post-war cinema and 70s movies.
Which is
And
funny
so
because the things
he
that
nails it.
actually, well, the things that actually are his influences are things I like, because I do like all the Japanese movies he's a fan of. I
Yeah.
enjoy them. I just don't
Did
like
you-
his movies.
Did you not like the Kill Bill
No.
movies?
Nah, I got
Really?
real bored. I got
Crazy.
real bored. After
Those are the two
first-
best things he's ever made.
After the first fight scene between the bride and whoever the first chick is, they fight in the house and like everything breaks and her daughter's there and stuff.
Yeah.
After that, I got real bored real quick because I was like,
What?
that was cool.
Even when she's fighting the Crazy 88?
And that was fine. It was-
Japan?
I just feel like I was like, oh, this is a cool fight scene. And then every fight scene after that was just more of the same in a different setting with different people. So I
No
was like,
way. They all
I don't
look
know.
completely different. Some
I
of them
don't
are in
know.
black and
Different.
white. Some have like a blue.
Well, see, that doesn't matter to me. And
Different
that's what-
fights,
that's
different
what,
people.
That's what happened. That's what happened to me in this film too. I'm like, can we stick with a style of filmmaking here? 'Cause it kept
No,
switching.
the split, they're important.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and this is
It's
why I want
super
you guys.
French New Wave. It's so French New Wave cinema.
And here's the reason I wanted both of you on this podcast for this one is because I need
Because
you guys.
we make movies.
Yeah, because you guys understand the nuances where I'm just here and I'm like, oh, Picasso, that guy sucks. He doesn't even know how to put body parts in the right place. I need you guys
That's
to
exactly
explain-
what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's 100% what it sounds
exactly
like.
what it sounds like.
And that's the problem. Is like, I'm not into like the art of it. I'm into what I like and I stick with what I like. So I need you guys to explain that. So with that being said, people know. Here's one thing. A few things I did like about this movie. Kurt Russell's character. I thought he did a great job of playing kind of like borderline crazy, but not over the top crazy. Where you're like,
Totally different Kurt Russell role too.
oh yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Although his face was just Snake Plissken older from Escape from New York.
Yes.
I was like, wait.
Sans eye patch.
Yeah, no eye patch, but he did have like the scar and everything.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
great. Another thing I really liked is the ending car chase scene. The fact that Zoe Bell was actually out there doing her own stunt because she is a
Yeah.
stunt woman, and she was Uma Thurman's stunt woman for all the
Yeah.
Kill Bill stuff. I really liked that. That car chase scene was just like anxiety
Great.
inducing.
Great scene.
Shot
Oh, yeah.
well. The things I don't like is the rest of the movie because I feel like if this would have been if he would have made a 20 to 30 minute short film, I feel like you could have gotten everything that was in this movie in a 30-minute short film, and it would have been way more tight and way more enjoyable. But that's also just me, who doesn't care to sit through art.
You missed one of the finer points of the movie.
That Ramona Flowers was in it?
Yes, how'd you know that's what I was going to say?
'Cause
Ramona Flowers.
Because he doesn't love Ramona Flowers being in a movie.
I was just gonna say, like, that whole second half is just like they're gonna just throw like two of the most beautiful women in the world at me. I'm gonna get Ramona Flowers and Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah, so Rosario Dawson, who plays Ahsoka Tano, was
Yeah.
in this, and then so was Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who plays... She's the girl who was in the cheerleading outfit. She plays Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. She was in 10 Cloverfield Lane. And I actually didn't know this. Joe, I assume you've seen this movie, the Birds of Prey movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in it.
She plays Helena Bertinelli, who's the Huntress.
Do you know what my favorite?
She's also in Sky High.
That's what I was gonna say, Joe. I was like, dude, she's the bad guy in Sky High.
Yeah,
She's in
she's
Sky
the
High as well.
pacifier.
That's actually a great movie.
It's a good kids movie for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, explain why this movie... I should have enjoyed this movie. Let's not get into the...
Ramona Flowers is in a cheerleading outfit.
Yes. 100%.
Apart from that, let's explain
Done.
to me why
Grade A
this is-
movie.
why the fact that Quentin Tarantino can create a film that he puts himself in to have an attractive lady sit on his lap is worth calling art.
Okay, first off, he's in all of his movies. It's
Yes.
kind of like paying homage to like how
Himself.
Alfred Hitchcock used to be in all his movies.
Yeah.
Didn't he... No, I'm thinking of Hitchcock Presents. I'm like, didn't he only narrate the beginning of every movie? I'm like, no,
Hitchcock,
wait, that's the TV show.
Hitchcock had a cameo in each one of his films.
Yeah, he's in The Birds. He's in Psycho.
Was Hitchcock putting himself in very Harvey Weinstein scenarios?
Well,
Again,
Hitchcock was an asshole, yeah.
Oh, that's true. Hitchcock was an asshole. Harvey Weinstein, producer on this movie, that doesn't age well.
No.
Actually, apparently, Quentin Tarantino is a huge dick. Him and Uma Thurman have a lot of heat. From the
he's
Kill
from
Bill.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
He's
He loves that TK.
he's all about his art. So and he wants
feet.
it a certain way. Doesn't want anything tarnishing his art.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's the thing though. When you're putting other people in harm's way to get that art, I kind of don't agree with it because there's the big controversy where Uma Thurman didn't want to do this stunt about the car crash in Kill Bill. But he was like, no, you have to be in there, and the camera's going to be in there. And he actually told the stunt crew not to come in that day because it's the stunt coordinator's job to make sure that, like, directors don't go above what should be asked of actors. And he specifically told them, don't show up this day, pressured Uma Thurman into doing this, and there was a lot of bad blood between them because she got pretty injured in
Yeah.
that scene.
Socially, not okay. The shot, brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
because
pretty.
you're not going to be able to get it with a stunt driver.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
so
get the tight close-ups.
I don't know. I get it to a certain point. I'm like, that's cool for the art, but also like
I think every artist should approach going, whether you're an actor, writer, whatever, goes into the project and you do anything for the art.
and that's fine. Like if he wanted to put himself in harm's way, that's great. But like putting someone else who isn't really agreeable with your situation. The one thing I will say about this movie that's good is he did say to Zoe Bell, "Hey, we should get a stunt woman for you for this." And Zoe Bell's like, "I am a stunt woman. You better let me do my own stunts all the
Yeah.
way through in this movie."
Which shows that he grew from that scenario.
Hopefully,
It's
No, he's an asshole, though.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
he
he
grew.
grows. Yeah.
I think you can equate it to making a movie for the art of cinema compared to making a movie simply to make a profit.
here's the thing, and I'm notorious for this, is that art movies I'm not usually a fan of. Multiple times, like Enemy, Nocturnal Animals, I get to the end of these movies and I have to look up, what the heck even is the point of this movie and what I'm supposed to get out of it because, symbolism and stuff. Two, sometimes, but here's the thing, would you consider movies like Ex Machina artistic movies? Because I
Yes,
love Ex
Hands
Machina.
down. That is
100%.
definitely an artistic movie.
Okay, so I only like a certain style of art movie.
Well, it's weird. It's like you like different artists over other artists.
Wow,
So, see,
what a
I'm-
concept!
Wow, what a surprise.
I'm not that much of a tool. I just don't like this one specific artist.
Yeah, I mean, and most people, you know,
And-
they have artists they hate. I hate Thomas Kincaid. I want him to die. Oh, it's like,
It-
he's
already
already
happened.
dead.
It could be even topical. If Death Proof had more of a sci-fi aspect to it, you probably would be more into it.
Yeah, instead of like a total just grindhouse feature.
Like
which
if the
Joe and
cars
I are
were
gonna do.
flying or
Yeah.
were hovering off the ground, I bet you'd be more into it.
Well, also, if there was more of a moral to the story, I would have liked it. I get that, like, the second group of girls kind of get the comeuppance and everything, but, like, I feel like at the beginning, what he was supposed to be framing it as is like, oh, these girls are sluts and they deserve what they're getting, kind of thing.
No,
But-
not at all. I didn't
No?
get that feeling at all.
I
was
didn't
so
get that either.
Yeah, I was so confused. I'm like, well, why is this dude targeting these girls then? Just because this is what he does? But also, I didn't
Yeah.
get the point. I didn't get the moral of the story at all.
There is no moral.
There isn't.
That's the moral.
Not every story needs
that's
to have a
that's
moral.
The theme. Yeah, it doesn't have to have
That's
a moral, but it can have
Grindhouse.
a theme. Yeah.
It was basically, just trying to essentially make something grotesque.
Well, then I guess-
Over-sexual. Basically, Grindhouse films were amygdala
Hypersexualized and
films.
hyper-violent. Yeah.
Amygdala films times 1,000.
Yeah.
It's over 9,000.
It's over 9,000. Yeah, if
I saw this fan theory, actually.
Vegeta was in this.
Yeah,
just
over
like-
sexualized, over the top of the violence.
Yep.
That's
Well,
just what these movies are.
I saw this fan theory where someone theorized that this movie was actually a movie Quentin Tarantino made about himself regarding the Kill Bill movies. And they did a lot of parallels between it about how he was like putting people in harm's way and stuff like that. And they did a good job of actually explaining it. I'm doing an awful job because I don't remember all the key
No, but
points and stuff,
I understand the concept. Like
Yeah.
that would make sense if he was revisiting that through another lens. Like, yeah, that's what artists do, is you express your feelings and emotions through something else.
Yeah. So you guys, I'm taking it, enjoyed this movie, both of you. What did you
No.
think?
No.
No,
no?
I don't like this movie.
I don't like it either.
I think he accomplished exactly what he was going for by making a grindhouse film, a grindhouse
yes.
style film. He did exactly what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
However, it is not my forte.
Agreed.
Yeah. So if someone's like, hey, I'm going to go make an anchovy pizza milkshake, and they did it, you're like, cool, you made an anchovy pizza milkshake. Still makes me barf at the end of it, but
Exactly.
Yeah.
If someone told me, "Hey, I wrote a song that is inspired by Insane Clown Posse, do you want to hear it?" And if I listen to it and it sounds just like Insane Clown Posse, I'm going to say, "Good job, you did exactly what you wanted to do."
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I like it.
Hey,
No.
don't hate on the Juggalos. We got a big Juggalo
We got a
fan
big
base.
juggalo following.
Over there in
We do have
Tennessee.
someone in Tennessee.
Yeah, but
Let's go to the gatherings.
I think piggybacking on what Joe said for sure is just like, yeah, the movie was not good.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that Tarantino had so much artistic choices, he chose to make things to look like how those grindhouse films were and pay homage to them through his style. So I think where Joe and I are is like, we can see that it's a film with an artist's touch on it, but that doesn't necessarily make it good. But we appreciate that the artist made all those artistic choices,
And I feel like he accomplished exactly what he was going
and
for.
he also got Mary Elizabeth Winstead in a cheerleader outfit.
Yeah, so
I'm happy with that.
cheers to him.
I'm happy with that. I actually feel like I probably would have enjoyed Planet Terror having not watched it, because the concept of a girl in a post-apocalyptic world with a machine gun leg sounds way more up my alley than just like Kurt Russell driving around and trying to knock people off the road.
Where if you were to tell me the two choices would be this serial killer tries to run down multiple groups of girls, or machine gun leg thing, I would actually probably pick the Kurt Russell one because I would anticipate a stronger story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Planet
More so than
Terror does
visual.
not have a stronger story.
Yeah.
At least I didn't like it as much.
Oh, okay. I like Rose McGowan, so I thought it would have been cool to see her.
Rose
take,
McGowan's
like,
amazing.
Yeah, take main stage. I mean, she shows up in a lot of our stuff. She showed up in Encino Man. She showed up in Scream. She was in Monkey Bone as Miss Kitty. Like, she's in a lot of things we watch.
Yeah,
It's kinda
same
funny.
Same with that weird dude that's in what was it called? Like Dunstan Checks In or something. What was that called?
Wait. You're talking about
That monkey goes to the hotel.
you're talking about the guy George from Seinfeld?
No, that was a different guy.
No, George from Seinfeld was the
No,
dad
no,
in
no,
Dungeons and Dragons.
Not Jason Alexander.
Not Jason
Oh,
Alexander.
you're talking about the dude who's like the fat gay dude who was in,
yes,
like,
that's in every movie we watch.
yeah, he was in
he
like
was in
every 90s
like
movie
Blank
we
Check
watched.
and
Yes. Yeah, he was in like so many movies around that time. I forget his name, but yeah.
His name is Carlisle Borgenschmorg.
Oh, I like Carlisle Bolgenschmorg.
Good old CB.
One thing, another thing that doesn't. Oh, I will say real quick here for our patrons, if you want to become a patron as well, we're going to be talking about your guys' favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. So we're going to get more into Tarantino as an artist in our Patreon because we're going to go through his filmography, and I want your guys' like quick reviews or I guess thoughts on each one of them. Just because I'm not a huge fan, so it'd be fun to see what you guys
I'll
think.
say right now, I think he's an egotist and an asshole, and it shows through all of his films. But whenever one comes out, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, because let's be honest, Cam. If you were a filmmaker, you'd be the same way.
Yeah, with less feet stuff.
Yeah, less feet stuff. Here's talking about feet stuff. The fact that Jungle Julia was walking around barefoot, like in a bar all over the place, just made me cringe to no end.
Oh yeah,
the
you would hate my ex-girlfriend.
to the point I turned to Kate and I was like, do people wear boots without socks?
Yeah,
and
that
she
was
goes,
also gross.
And
Yeah,
she goes, I
disgusting.
mean, you can. I don't. It's kind of gross.
Yeah, like all your feet sweating there and like all the grody from the ground you just walked in at that gas station.
And also, the inside of cowboy boots aren't like posh. Like they're like leather with like a shitty like insole.
Yeah, they just feel real gross. So Kurt Russell eating those nachos.
Oh my gosh.
That was
Awful.
disgusting.
Awful, but also
Worst scene.
worst but best introduction to a character I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Is you're watching someone be repulsive, and then you think, okay, maybe he's not that bad. Whatever. Like you start to learn about him, and then Kurt Russell is just like he's got his really pretty blue eyes, like he's super charismatic, and you're like, oh man, I want to see where this goes. And then you're like, oh no, he's as gross as Nacho Time.
Yeah, he's super gross. Although I did love when he was like talking about the book. You're okay in my book. Like, I was like, that's
and he actually has a book.
I know,
Yeah.
that's good. That's a good line to get a girl.
And everyone, when we were watching this, Jordan texted the group. He said that he really resonated with Kurt Russell and felt like Kurt Russell. And the moment that he licked his finger and touched Rosario Dawson's foot.
Yeah, because if anyone knows me, they know that I love touching dirty things.
You love touching dirty things, and you also love probably licking your own dirty finger.
Yeah, it's a pastime of mine.
That poem thing that you have to recite to a girl, is that a thing in Texas?
No, that's a poem from Frost. What's his first name? Robert Frost, right? Is that the poet? Yeah. It's a poem from. I have no idea why that was in there, but I was like, oh. It sounded familiar, and then I had to look up who it was, and I'm like, in British literature class in college, I'm like, I remember this one.
I prefer E.E. Cummings.
Of course you do.
Now, with this being a Quentin Tarantino fan, having not actually particularly liked the movie, some of the shots on air were downright beautiful.
Perfect.
Me, myself being a sucker for cinematography, some of the shots were just incredible.
Did you see that he shot it too?
Yeah, I did. That he was his own cinematographer.
Yeah, blew me away.
Loved
Writer,
it.
director, cinematographer.
Yeah.
He was his own butt smeller. It was great.
Yeah,
Like,
and he's so good at smelling butts.
Yeah.
Like, I love the shot where it's so simple, but she's just walking through the convenience store and the camera from inside the car follows her, and you can see her silhouette in the windows. Oh my gosh. All so beautiful in black and white.
Yeah,
Loved
I was
it.
happy. I was
His
happy with that.
cinematography was excellent.
I was
So
happy
clean.
with the diner scene where he's just circling the table
Yeah.
the whole time.
Oh, that full.
The first thought I had, I was like, I wonder how many takes they did this in because they're eating the whole time. So I'm like, if you had to do more than one take, you're eating a lot of dang food.
And you got to bring out a fresh plate each
Yeah.
time.
Every time,
So it's
yep.
still there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, if that was a Waffle House, it's definitely not a fresh plate.
To be fair, too, they probably had spit buckets under next to them. So when they weren't on camera, they got to clear to spit and they can eat more.
But the
Yeah.
thing is most of them were on camera most of the time. Like there was always one person who wasn't on camera.
Yeah.
But like 75% of them were always in view of the shot as it was turning. So I'm like, that would be harder to choreograph that. I'm probably just like, yeah, show up for lunch hungry and eat some food.
Well,
It
I mean,
could
you
be.
can't work during lunch.
No.
Well, I just mean like, come hungry. You're going to be eating a bit of food right now. on this
Yeah,
scene.
I could see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So Big Kahuna Burger gets a name drop in there.
Awesome. So does Red Apple Cigarettes.
Red Apple Cigarettes. I mean, one thing Quentin Tarantino does well is he builds a universe for himself and he sticks with it. So
Oh yeah, I love that. It's like a J.J. Abrams thing.
I do.
He's
love
an artist. He's a straight up artist.
I've never seen Inglourious Bastards, and I don't know how.
Oh my gosh, you really need to.
I don't know how it ends. Does Hitler win at the end of it, or like what happens?
No,
Hitler dies.
Gets fucking due justice.
Okay, here's the thing: is because there's that fan theory that because of Inglourious Bastards, that's what created the Tarantino verse. Why everything is hyper stylized and hyper violent is because this moment in history creates kind of an alternate reality to what we know. And I'm assuming it's because like the group of Jewish people who kill Hitler are like super violent, and then that like turns the rest of the universe violent. I don't know. I was reading this theory.
Everything he's ever made has been violent.
Yeah.
But this is the first one that is an alteration of... But also none of his other shit had to do with it, like something that already existed.
Yeah, a historical moment.
And Inglourious Basterds is based off a novel. So,
really?
Yeah. So it's an adaptation. I mean, it's a Tarantino adaptation, so he took incredible liberties. But it... Yeah, no, I think that's a stupid fan theory. That's someone where they would be like, oh yeah, this is the first time he altered history, so everything's within this realm after Hitler got Uzi'd in the face for a year, you know? Like, I think, you know...
I think it's a stretch.
Is that like the oh my gosh, why am I forgetting the name of the thing that digests you for 1,000 years in Star Wars?
The Sarlacc?
The Sarlacc?
Yeah. Is that like the Sarlacc of...
The Sarlacc of
Hitler?
bullets, yes.
Yeah,
the
bullets
Sarlacc of bullets.
Uzi to the face for 100 years.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a Tommy gun, but it was just like... Brrr, and like Hitler's face was all like chunky. It turned into like...
Interesting.
Ground pork.
Watch Inglourious Bastards simply for the performance of Christoph Waltz.
Okay.
Yes, solely that. Best performance, still number one. The only one that compares with that, in my brain, for best performances of all time, is Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Bastards and Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
Honestly, all the performances in Inglourious Bastard are great. Brad Pitt's performance,
is amazing.
What's her name who played the French girl?
Shoshana? Oh,
yeah.
God, yeah, I
she
can't
did
remember her name.
so well.
Isn't she in this movie too?
I didn't recognize her.
Yeah,
In Death Proof?
I thought there was a girl in Death Proof who was like the main girl in Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, could have
It's
been.
possible. I mean, he uses a lot of the same actors.
Oh yeah, like literally everyone in this movie was in at least 2 or 3 other Tarantino films. Yeah.
Though, how perfect of a role was it for the guy who's like in all the Adam Sandler movies to just be that creep
yes,
that
the guy
Ramona
who played
Flowers?
Jasper?
Yeah.
Yes.
with his super creepy like laugh like
Dude, that guy is literally in every Adam Sandler movie.
It's because he's so good at being gross, and Adam Sandler's like, you know what I like? Gross shit.
Well, you know what? I only allow myself one movie a year where Hitler is actually a character, and this year I'm doing Jojo Rabbit, so I guess Inglourious Basterds is going to have to wait.
You didn't see that last year?
No, I haven't watched it yet. I haven't gotten around to it. When there's things like Kong versus Godzilla, Joe, that is on my plate to watch.
Have you watched it yet?
No, not yet.
Jordan!
I will. I swear I will.
I still have to ask you about so many things, Jordan.
Before April 30th, I'll watch it, because that's when it goes off of HBO Max.
Wait, you don't have HBO Max?
No, I do. That's when it goes off of HBO Max. It's April 30th, so I got to watch it before then because I ain't about to rent that movie.
No, it's not worth any money. I would never pay to watch that.
I would have paid to watch it. It's entertaining.
I'll be the judge of that.
That's where our branches break.
Yeah.
Like Joe, we're like we appreciate the art, the crazy shit, and then I want to go upstream. And then you're like, oh, yeah, but I'll watch it because it's just going to look great and it's going to be cool.
Yeah, it's just for the entertainment factor. I was like, ooh, shiny exploding shit over here.
And I can't connect that.
And I'm just
doesn't
down
work
there.
in my brain.
I'm just down there in the cesspool of Godzilla's filth, being like, feed me more.
Yeah, 100%. You're in like some little basin inside like a man-made lake, like feasting off Godzilla shit.
Just atomic splooge on me.
Yeah, you're like, oh, kaiju all over me.
Yeah, it's almost like I enjoy Tecate. Okay, so moving on to the next thing. Oh my gosh, you have so many beers over there. That fourth wall break that Stuntman Mike did was kind of a fun little nod to
so good
old school. What was the dude from Bullet? Who was the main guy in that? Was that
Bullet Tooth Tony?
Bullet? You know the movie? That's one of the Bullet is one of the biggest influences for this film, the movie about the car racer guy.
No, that's Vanishing Point.
No, Vanishing Point was also a big one, but Bullet is came out around the same time as Vanishing Point, and they were all about who was in Vanishing Point.
Cars.
Michael Cera.
Sure, okay.
Danny DeVito.
Moving on to the next thing.
He was the dude on the car, on the hood, on the bonnet.
Let's see. Oh, you know
Jonathan
what I did?
Taylor Thomas.
Oh, JTT. Yeah, I
Tim
love that
Allen.
guy. All right, so one thing I did really enjoy is the fact that after Stuntman Mike gets shot, he uses 4 Roses whiskey to clean it out. I'm like, this guy knows how to pick his whiskeys.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that would have been so painful.
Sucks so bad.
Awful. It would have been awful.
Yeah.
I liked it. Go for it, Joe.
I liked how the movie ended. I did not end like the abrupt ending.
No, super abrupt. It was just like,
So-
what?
Here's why I love the abrupt ending and the random switch from black and white to color. And,
I like that.
Yeah.
I was fine with that. It
And-
was a nice twist.
And the weird rewinds from when he pulls the headlights to each individual death. Do you remember in the first half?
Yeah.
So things like that, and a couple weird sounds and hard jump cuts.
Well, they had a few of those jump cuts like they talk about in Fight Club, where it's like you splice in a frame.
I'll even jump back prior to Fight Club, and this is after World War II in the early 60s, French New Wave cinema. And Jean-Luc Godard basically invented an entire type of cinema. He was like a film historian. And he goes, I'm really tired of watching these Hollywood movies where everything's super melodramatic and shot on set and everything's linear, and he invented things that are normal style for us now. Jump cuts, non-actors, long takes. So your rotation around that table would not exist without French New Wave cinema. So this was like a crazy French New Wave movie that was mixed with American shit filth, which makes it like this beautiful harmony to me.
Cam, get it right. It's called Freedom New Wave Cinema.
Dumb. That's the dumbest joke you
Joe
ever
did
made.
not find that amusing.
No,
one
Joe
bit.
didn't
He
care.
didn't
Joe
even
didn't-
smile.
No, he didn't care at all. But yeah, so that's what all of that is. And then one thing that was really, really reminiscent of the French New Wave of cinema was the abrupt ending, because the whole idea of French New Wave is it mirrors and reflects the idea of going to a stage play. So it reminds you that you're in the audience watching something. So an abrupt ending is kind of like the curtains closing and you're on your own. And you've only spent that small amount of time with the characters in the films as if they're real.
I just want to know what happened to Ramona Flowers.
Yeah, I know. That was my question. I'm like, what's going on with her? Is she doing
Guys,
okay?
I have good news. She and I got married.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Did you have to defeat all her exes?
Yeah, there were 8 evil ones now
Yeah.
because of Scott. But it was really hard to fight Scott. We both had a mediocre base-off back and
Yeah.
forth, and we were both just equally mediocre.
We were both
it was
just
awful.
jamming. You were just both jamming on one string. Do 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 do.
Yeah, the whole time.
Did you have to? Did you have to fight Nega Cam?
Yeah, I had to fight Negacam, and he was a Republican.
Did you let Knives chow down gently?
No, just super brutal.
Brutal.
I was,
Let her down brutal.
I was like,
a
yo,
ghosting.
Knives, this is all the way illegal. I'm gonna go to prison. And she was like, what? No, it's fine. I won't tell my dad. And I was like, still, peace out.
It's Canada. They won't do anything. So I thought for a Tarantino film, this was actually pretty mild violence-wise. It wasn't.
Do you think so?
I mean, there were 2 scenes. There was the car crash scene that had some
Yeah,
violence.
but all of his films were never super over the top violent in every single scene. They always most of
They
his films
culminate to
typically
a
were
hyper-violent moment.
yeah.
Django,
They usually,
Inglorious Bastards.
all of those
Kill
all
Bill,
they
lead
all
up- but they
lead up
all
to a
lead up to
hyper violent
Pulp
moment.
one-
Fiction.
All
Pulp
lead up.
Fiction. Pulp Fiction is the only one where I'm like, yeah, it leads up to just one. All of those other 3 have a lot of really violent things.
No,
No, it's all lead up.
They lead
Granted,
up to
it doesn't
one
lead up to one
huge-
point.
Yeah, there's
there might
multiple
be
peaks and valleys
peaks
of
and
violence.
valleys, but then there's going to be one big one.
But there's one big one in your climax, and that's what it was for each of those 2
I thought
50-50 segments.
Story arcs. Yeah.
I personally thought it was pretty pretty mild for a Tarantino film.
It was super mild when the entire tire of a car ripped that human person's face off.
Or when the girl was in the car accident with her legs out of the window and her entire leg gets cut off. Yeah, that was
Really
real mild.
Real mild.
Yeah. I'm not saying compared to the standard. I'm just saying compared to Tarantino.
You're like compared to when that dude like saws off the guy's ear in Reservoir Dogs.
Compared to Saw 3 through 84.
Yeah. Oh, they're coming out with the 85th.
Oh, 85. I hear it's going to be in 4D. It's going to be Smell-O-Vision.
Also available on
5D
HBO
takes
Max.
place in another dimension.
Yeah, it's okay. So the last thing I want to mention here is that I thought Italian Vogue was a euphemism for something. I didn't know he actually meant he had a
like
magazine.
Vogue in Italy.
I was like, hey, he's like, I got an Italian Vogue behind the counter here. I was like, is he asking for a blowjob? What is happening?
It was like really weird.
It was a
really,
weird
really
thing
weird.
for a guy in the middle of Tennessee to say.
Yeah.
I mean, and I live here now. Oh my god, guys, look at how like fat and shitty I look right now in this video. Like,
Nah, you look good.
No,
you got the
my
Denver
tit-
Broncos on. You all good.
the Broncos are good, but like I have legit titties right now.
Hey, Cam, next time you go fill up gas, ask the cashier if they have an Italian Vogue.
I will. I'll record it too.
All right, guys. Let's talk about the info of this movie real quick here. Came out May 31st, 2007. They didn't give a budget anywhere, but it did gross $31 million worldwide.
I think that is strictly just because of the name.
Of the name.
Oh,
Yep.
100%. 100%. I can't imagine it costs that much to make both these movies.
Only a couple mil, probably.
Yeah, probably that's it. So it made money.
Now, Jordan.
yeah.
Have you ever seen Machete?
I don't think so. I'm trying to remember because I might have, like, right out of college or high school, but I honestly don't remember like a
I love
storyline or
Robert
anything. I just
Rodriguez,
remember
man.
Machete is in Spy Kids.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he is.
Trejo.
Yeah.
Danny Trejo.
But yeah, I don't.
He's
think
also
I've
the
actually
Masked
seen it.
Singer.
Yes, he was on the Masked Singer. So
He
good.
also has a Mexican lager that you could buy at Ralph's in Santa Clarita.
And he has his own taco shop and his own donut shop. Trejo,
Yeah.
he's a Renaissance man.
He really is, and he also
Yeah.
got arrested for transporting heroin over the border.
Hey, everyone makes small mistakes every now and then. Okay,
Yeah.
so Rotten Tomatoes, 65% critic score, 72% audience. I think that falls in
Fair.
line with it.
Yeah.
I figured people would give this, the art part of it would bring it up a little bit.
Just a little. And the name alone. Like,
Name alone,
you see
yeah.
Tarantino, you're like, it gets
Yeah.
boosted already above a 60.
So the first part of the movie filmed in Austin, Texas, or set in Austin, Texas, was filmed in Austin, Texas. But the second part that was supposed to take place in Tennessee was actually filmed in Buellton, California by Solvang.
I was gonna say
It
it
all-
looked so
it
much
looked
like
like
Santa
SoCal.
Clarita.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looked like
it looked like
SoCal.
Santa Clarita.
Even though Solvang Buellton is more central, but it was like all the same hills and landscape and everything we get.
I was completely expecting this to be filmed like near Pyramid Lake or
Yeah.
like in
Disney
Placerita.
Ranch.
I thought
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
too.
Disney Ranch type of thing.
Yeah.
I thought so too, but nope, more north than that. So like we said, Quentin Tarantino written, directed, cinematographer, Kurt Russell, Zoe Bell, Rosario Dawson. Rosario Dawson was in Rent, and then the other girl, her name's Tracy Toms. She was in Rent as well, the girl with the gun. She
Okay.
was in Rent. Rose McGowan, Mary Elizabeth Winstead we talked about, and then Eli Roth made a cameo as the guy at the bar. No one else really of any note in here except all these people we've kind of already talked about.
Right.
So let's get into the fun facts then about
Let's
this
do it.
for you.
Let's do it.
What is facts? Baby, they're fun. They're fun. Oh yeah. What is facts? Baby, they're fun. They're fun. Oh yeah.
So Tarantino came up with the idea of Death Proof when he was having a drunken hotel night with friend Sean Penn. Tarantino wanted to buy a Volvo because
Sean Penn, really?
Yeah, him and Sean Penn were just hanging out, getting drunk in a hotel, and Tarantino was like, you know what, I want to buy a Volvo because I don't want to die in some auto accident like the one that happened in Pulp Fiction. And in regards to the safety of the car, Sean Penn said, well, you could take any car to a stunt team, and for like $10,000 or $15,000, they can death-proof it for you. And Tarantino was like, ooh, death-proof, that sounds like a cool something or other, and that's how he came up with the idea for the
I
story.
love how people get inspired. Like, it's
You
so
just
crazy.
love that he was drunk because you're like inspiration while drunk.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's my entire way I make any art.
Yes.
When was there a fatal car crash in Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, I don't remember that.
I don't remember either. It wasn't the taxi where they shoot him in the head and then afterwards they get
That
in
wasn't a car
accident?
crash.
No, don't they get in a car accident
That was
later?
a bullet.
Well, Bruce Willis runs over Marcellus Wallace, but
Maybe that's what it is. I
neither
don't
one
know.
of them die in that crash.
Honestly, I've seen that movie once, so I'm just going off of what they wrote here. So I don't know.
I will say though, like I was gonna make a Volvos are already death proof joke at some point during this. So it's crazy that like Tarantino was like all panicky and fucked up, and he's like, "Yo, dude, I want to get a Volvo." And
Yeah.
Sean Penn, the most reckless of humans, was like,
Yeah, it was like,
"Oh
hey,
no, but like, hey, if you spend this much money,
do
it
this
can
thing."
happen."
You can turn
Yeah.
any car death proof.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's funny. So in that diner scene, the one take, you can actually see Kurt Russell in the background eating at one of the booths, which is kind of cool.
I tried to pay attention to that after
Yeah.
he had his whole dialogue where he was like, he saw them at one location, saw them at the other location, and I was like, I wonder if Kurt Russell's in the back, because he was clearly snapping those SLR photos
He's
of them.
stalking them nicely. So after the first car crash, when Kurt Russell's in the hospital, the sheriff and his son that are discussing the crash are
Yeah.
the same sheriff and son duo from Kill Bill at the beginning in the church
I
massacre.
recognize
Yeah.
them.
Yep.
Me
so
too.
there was that. In 2012. Oh no, I already told you this.
Well,
That-
it also that car crash took place in Texas. The first Kill Bill, the bride
Yes.
scene takes place in Texas.
yes,
Does
it
this
does.
is this the movie that makes all Tarantino movies canon?
Maybe this could be the sleeper movie. That's like the glue,
Well-
the Elmer's glue that binds it all, the macaroni together.
There's always been the theory that the Pulp Fiction briefcase things that are glowing are the jewels and diamonds from Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, I always
Oh.
heard the theory that it was the soul of Marcellus Wallace.
That's what I've heard too.
No, I always heard that it was the gems from Reservoir Dogs. So that comes up, and then, I mean, obviously it's a MacGuffin. Like,
Yeah.
no one knows.
What's
but
in the briefcase?
It's a MacGuffin.
dumb. That's the dumbest fucking joke you ever made, and I love it.
I like Seven. I'll get behind that movie. My final fun fact is a scene was cut showing stuntman Mike masturbating in his flipped over car after the first car crash. It was deemed unnecessary since the following scene would have Texas Ranger Earl McGaw hypothesize to his son that stuntman Mike's acts were murders of a sexual nature. Yeah, I feel like we didn't need that. Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Do you have any last thoughts you want to say real quick? Because I'm getting a notification here that we're going to run out of time real quick, and I don't want to run out of recording time.
Yeah, I also masturbated after my first car crash.
There you go. Perfect.
I got nothing.
There you go. All right, guys. So that was us talking about Death Proof.
Yeah.
Go check us out. Instagram. Go check us wreckmypodcast.com out. Patreon's there. Redbubble's there. Other things are there. That's just our one-stop shop. And then also go become a patron of ours, because then you can listen to us talk about more Tarantino films, and I will keep my mouth shut and let you guys talk about how good they are.
Yeah.
So thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next week.
Bye, love you.
I like and I love you all.
Wreck My Podcast. Wreck My Podcast.
I pre-recorded this, so I'll put it in post.
Oh, dang.
Okay.
I wanted to hear what you said.
Yeah, what do you say?
I said a group of girls just hanging out in Austin, Texas. A guy named Stuntman Mike shows up, puts out some creepy vibes. But of course, Rose McGowan decides to leave with him. Mike's car is death-proof except for the passenger side, so Mike uses his brakes to kill Rose McGowan. Then he goes after the other girls in a different car and runs into them head on, so they all die in gruesome ways, but Stuntman Mike doesn't die. Then 14 months later, Stuntman Mike finds a new group of girls in Tennessee. One of them happens to be a stunt woman, so she pulls a daring stunt, to get on the hood of the car. Stuntman Mike takes the opportunity to mess with them and tries to run them off the road, but they aren't having it, shoot him in the arm, but that's not enough. They chase him down, give him a taste of his own medicine by punching him in the face 37 times in 30 seconds, and then smashing his face in the end.
Good. Did you write 14 months in there? Because it's 14 years later.
No, it's 14 months later.
14 years.
No, it's not 14 years later. Kurt Russell will look so much older if it was 14 years later.
14 years.
No, it was 14 months.
Did I misread
It's hard to see, but all that happened was he just shrunk a little.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
The scar got a little bit more wrinkly.
And he had a
Scruff.
yeah.
And he got a new car.
He did get a new car. All right.
Have you been following us?
You saw my car, I saw your legs. Now look, I ain't stalking y'all, but I didn't say I wasn't a wolf.
He's got charm.
Is there anybody in this place you could vouch for to give me a ride home?
Fair lady, your chariot awaits.
He's got style.
Do I frighten you? Is it my scar?
It's your car.
And he's got a set of wheels.
Is it safe?
Oh, it's better than safe. It's death-proof.
To die for.
Well, Pam, which way you going? Left or right?
Right.
That's too bad.
Why?
Well, because it was a 50-50 shot on whether you'd be going left or right. But since you're going the other way, I'm afraid you're gonna have to start getting scared immediately.
From Quentin Tarantino, the director of Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and Kill Bill, comes Death Proof.
This car is 100% death-proof. Only to get the benefit of it, honey, you really need to be sitting in my seat.
If he likes the way you move, then he decides
Now I gotta catch me my other girlfriend.
the way you die. His method is brutal. His weapon is speed. But his latest targets are about to fight back.
Let's kill this bastard.
You know I can't let you go.
Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof.
Ladies, that was fun.
A Grindhouse feature.